What's up everyone? Welcome to another weekend edition of Rivera Urban Homestead. Today I don't really have any main projects going on, so we're just going to take a walk around the homestead. I'm going to show you my different gardening sections, how everything's going, good or bad, and just kind of hang out for a little bit, talk about each little area. So let's start right behind me at the bananas. Okay, so the banana plants are really starting to get their growth going now that the temperatures are getting warmer. The pups are getting bigger down there. I did add a lot of leaves and chicken manure from the yard when we were doing the sod. I dumped all that into there, so that'll just compost down and help feed the bananas because they love to eat. They are hungry. And someone asked me a question like, what kind of fertilizing do you do for bananas? You know, basically guys, I have a real thick layer of compost and mulching compost like wood chips and grass, leaves, chicken compost in there. I got all kinds of compost, real thick layer. So that helps in general. Also, you want to do high nitrogen when they're growing, you know, throughout the growing portion. Once you start seeing those flowers come out, then you want to do a little bit more of the potassium. They really like the potassium to get going. And obviously, bananas in general have a lot of potassium. So what you could do, whenever you throw them banana leaves away, or I'm sorry, whenever you throw those banana skins away that you're eating every day, you should be throwing them right back into the banana patch because that has potassium in it. It'll break down and fertilize. Okay, so anyway, as you can see here, I do have some leaves that are dying off, probably from when it was cooler out. So I'm going to go in there, just kind of clean them up. But all in all, the banana plants are really looking good, and I'm hoping to get a lot more bananas this year. And of course, they love water, so I come out here every day pretty much in the evening, and I'll just water them, give them a little bit of water every day. Looking good, nice and cleaned up. The pups are growing nicely, so bananas are done. Let's move on to the next thing. As we walk by, who can forget the chickens? Of course they're doing good. They're just hanging out. They're just hanging out. Looky there, a little orange on my orange tree. Remember we pulled the bottom out of the pot? Still hasn't really done too well, but it's still alive, but very scrawny still. It does have a couple little oranges on it. What I'm going to do to boost up some of the nutrient levels in there is I'm going to go get some of our well composted wood chips, and we're going to just load that up, let that nutrient start seeping through the soil. Maybe it'll get it going a little bit better. But for now, we do have a couple of little oranges on there. And the dragon fruit, guys. This is something I haphazardly put together. Somebody gave me these. I came home, constructed some quick little thing, and really kind of forgot about them. But literally, they are growing. I just need to concentrate more on them. Maybe get some cactus fertilizer in the bucket there, because I haven't done any of that. And I don't know, we might have to rethink the dragon fruit thing, really make a nice stand for them, get some clippings off of them, and maybe restart it. But for now, it is growing. There is 4 different varieties there. No flowers as of yet. But there's still little growth. There's still growth happening. Again, just haven't been paying much attention. So that's it right now for out back as far as any garden related. Minus that compost pile there, which that's going to be a very important additive come next fall. Of course, on the side of the house, the other compost pile, along with all the bags of leaves that are molding, leaf mold, that's going to be another great addition to the garden. And of course, the compost tea. We'll be watering the tomatoes with that tonight. Speaking of compost, let me show you what I use in the kitchen. I actually just went and bought it today. Just a simple little Rubbermaid thing I bought at Lowe's. It has handles on it. Open it up, put a little grocery store plastic bag in there, and we'll just throw our food scraps in there and close it up. And let me tell you, having a sealed container is vital. If you leave this open in your kitchen, you're going to start getting fruit flies once you start adding food scraps in here. After a day or two, I'm telling you, they'll be all over the place. So get a container that has a lid on it and you're good to go. Start composting your food scraps. Like I said, we're going to take a tour of the homestead, the good and the bad. And well, this is part of the bad. I really need to clean up this side. I just cut all these down a while back off of that one. Still got more to cut. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually process that wood with like my reciprocating saw. We're going to make some little logs out of it that we can burn later on. And obviously under there is my wood chip pile. So eventually, guys, we're going to have this whole area cleaned out. But for now, wood chip compost, another great thing for the garden. These are beautiful, these big old elephant ear plants. They just started growing wild. I like them. Ugh, that's going to be a video. It's going to be a sweaty video. The pollinating garden is doing good. We're getting some nice colors going on. They love those little light blues. Of course they love this bush. All of these purple flowers, the bumblebees, the wasps, anything. All the little pollinators love it. Hello. I just threw handfuls of this into the pollinating garden the other day. I got to water it in, but that would be cool if we got some just different little flowers growing out of there. And of course I have this amazing flower bush that the bees and everything just really love. And it is right next to the garden. And we'll get into the garden a little bit later as far as the good and bad and what's going on in there. But the bees definitely love these flowers. Very nice. Here's the front of the house. Remember about 2 years ago we planted the Barbados cherry tree or cherry bush? Look at it. It's looking really good. Has really nice thick stems. It's really made a home for itself here. So, and it looks great. So I just water it every once in a while. Really minimal care. I don't really do much. And then we'll start getting, I think, some of those cherries. I think it was last fall we got them. So it'll grow this summer. We'll water it. We'll fertilize it with some maybe wood chips, maybe some chicken compost, and we'll be eating some little Barbados cherries. Just a nice little plant we put on the little Tyler's old little chair. Oh, and look at this. This is kind of neat. These plants are growing. Don't know what it is, but look at that big old pod it has on there. That's pretty nuts. That's just coming out of one of my pots. And we have an orchid blooming. What's up? How is it? All the chickens were in here. I just gave them a bunch of cut up grapes. They love them. A nice cold snack on a warm day. Cold grapes, cold watermelon. They love that kind of stuff. So in the summertime, give them some nice cold treats. It makes them happy, and they give you 10 eggs in 2 days. It is a little windy, so I hope you can hear me, but let's look at a positive in the front garden. This bed right here is a positive. I was loading it up with a bunch of garden scraps. It composted together. I added wood chips. It composted. So this bed has a lot of good fertility in it. These kales, the dinosaur kale, has been doing amazing in this bed. The purple kale you see back there is doing amazing. This is the Thai hybrid. Look at all these peppers that are going on it. Looking really good. Here's the purple jalapeno. Look at these jalapenos in here, guys. These purple jalapenos are blowing up. Again, the purple kale, beautiful purple kale. Look at this one. The cayenne long slim. Look at that. That one's about ready to taste. And then back here we have the Jimmy Nardello, and it's loaded down with peppers. So this bed, the curly kale, still really producing a lot of kale. This bed has done great this season, and it's just due to adding all that compost, all that organic material. And let's go over a little more closely, we'll go look at the tomato plant we planted over here. Remember this tomato plant? This is the one that we just put the pot down on its side. We buried some of the stem. And look, it's growing up. It's growing tomatoes. It's doing really well. So that has actually been a good success. A lot of wood chips in here. So this is a beautiful bed. Very nutrient dense, I guess. Another thing that's just been plugging along is the carrots. They're in the whiskey barrel, man. We've just had them growing forever. And you can just come out here every once in a while and pick you a little carrot. Look at that. Pick you a little carrot like that. Rinse it off a little, you know, rub it off. Fresh carrot. So that's another good thing going on in the garden, some fresh carrots. And here's another good thing going on in the garden. And I tell you what, this tomato plant was the one that just grew wild. It's a pearly pink from last year. Remember we grew the pearly pinks? Look at this. We have tomatoes all in here growing. Look at all these tomatoes. Ooh, those aren't good. Look at all them bugs right there. You see those? That is not good. Those are like baby stink bugs or something. Lots of tomatoes in there, but we got to get rid of those things. Look, more tomatoes over there. This wild tomato plant is just branching out quite nicely. I don't like the looks of that though. Not good. How do you get rid of them? Let me know in the comments. How do you get rid of them? Green and Noel came to visit. Filling up. Wow, he don't want to leave that flower. He likes it in there. Yummy. So yeah, anyway, the pearly pinks, even though it's a wild plant, it's really producing. Nice and juicy. All kinds of tomatoes on this. And it's all mixed in with the flowers, so you can barely even see the tomato plant. It's literally just buried in there with the flowers and doing amazing. That coverage, I think it keeps that ground nice and shaded and keeps it a little cooler with having all these weeds and all the flowers. And that's why I'm pretending I don't weed, but it's because I'm lazy. But it's working. So that's another good thing in the garden. One thing that didn't really work out this season is the Brunswick cabbage. A number of reasons. Probably one is fertility in this bed. I did not really put a bunch of organic matter in this bed like I did that one over there. And you could tell the difference. I mean, that one is producing very well. And these cabbages, not so much. So I'm going to probably pull all this, get rid of it. It's great organic matter again. And we're going to repurpose a bunch of wood chips, a bunch of chicken compost in this area. And it'll be ready to go. Probably, I don't know, maybe we'll plant some melons and see if we can get some melons out of it once we clean it all out. So this, not good. I mean, it looks like there's some little heads. Nah, not really. This one might have a little head going that we could salvage, maybe a little one, but the rest of it needs to go. So that didn't work out very well. On a good note, this year the peppers have been doing really good. We have a lot of peppers in here with these Korean dark greens. I probably need to start picking some of them actually, get them off of there. But all of my pepper plants, as you see, have been doing real good. This I amended with compost, black cow manure and stuff like that, the same as I did with that bed over there where all the peppers are. So the pepper plants are doing really good in those amended beds. One thing that didn't really work, guys, is the garlic. And I think it's because we didn't really have a very good cold snap. I mean, we got a little garlic there. There's a little bulb. Here's a little bulb. Let's see what else we got in here. Just little guys. But I think if we would have got a little bit cooler season, we might have had a better outcome. Well, there's a nice one. Alright, so not too bad. We got a couple good ones. Alright, so even though we didn't get that cold snap that we needed to get those garlics really bulbing, we did get a couple of good sized ones. Some little ones. Christine will use them. So garlic, below average. Alright guys, let's check something else in the garden. The potatoes. Now, Christine had them. We were going to eat them. We bought them at the store. They were growing sprouts. I decided to plant them a couple of months ago, I think. They've already died back, so I don't know if there's anything there. So what we're going to do is we're going to dump them in this one raised bed where the cabbages are. I pulled out a couple, fed them to the chickens. We'll dump them, see if there's any potatoes in it. Why not? Alright, let's see what we got. We have a nice square block of soil. Whoa! What do we got going on here, guys? We got... Whoa! There's a wasp. That's what we got. We got some potatoes. Whoa, look at all these potatoes. Heck yeah. Alright, let's get the other one. Let's see what we got in here. Alright. Good job. Good job. Look at all these. Okay, wow, look at that. I didn't even think I was going to get that many potatoes. It didn't seem like they were in the ground too long. But man, that is at least 2 dinners right there worth of potatoes. So, awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave them in this little old drip pan I have for one of the pots. I have some paper towel down, or I'm sorry, some newspaper down. And I'm just going to let them dry. Let it dry. Don't touch them. Don't mess with the skins, because it'll peel off really easy right now. We'll let them sit. We'll let them dry. Then we'll lightly wash them, and that's it. Eat up. Alright guys, so it's been fun today. We've walked around the whole homestead, showed you the goods and the bads of what's going on, harvested some garlic, some potatoes, ate a carrot, and now let's just take a quick look at the tomatoes. We'll see how they're doing. I think they are average, maybe a little above average for what I'm used to doing. So they're doing all right. So this is the Amish paste. Very nice tomatoes on there. Really looking good. Check out the size of some of these. I mean, this thing is a handful. Check out the size of some of these Amish paste. Check out the size of some of these Amish paste. That's a handful right there, handful. Guys, check out the size of some of these Amish paste. I mean, I didn't realize they got that big. That is a handful. And I got a few of them on here. So Amish paste is looking good. And now the Cherokee purple. Man, I love these. Look at this thing. That is huge. Can you see the size of that? That's 1 tomato. That's awesome. Here, one's ripening over here. Check it out. Look at how beautiful those markings are on that. Isn't that awesome? That is a great looking tomato. Cherokee purples. Here's another big one right here. Oh yeah. So I got some Cherokee purples coming. They're looking good. And here is the yellow gooseberries. Again, really good looking tomatoes. Look at these little racks right here. We got a rack of them right here. Another rack here. More here. More here. Look at this one. Isn't that a pretty yellow tomato? Mmm. Oh yeah. And plenty more. Plenty more coming in, guys. Plenty more coming in. Look at that. That's a nice rack of them there. So the yellow gooseberries are doing good. And this plant is the free seed packet that they gave me. This was the black vernissage. These things, I just love the way they look. Check it out. Look at that. Just a beautiful shade of red with some green mixed in. Those look awesome. And I have quite a few of them that are getting ready to be eaten. Looking good. And this one is the Boxcar Willie. It's working, but it's not putting out a lot of tomatoes. The couple that it has put out, though, I mean, that's a pretty good size. That's nice. And there is some growing on the ground. Some of these branches off of this tomato plant, they got heavy and they're just hanging down onto the ground. But I tell you what, they're producing good, so I'm going to leave them like that. Let them swirl around. Maybe where it's hitting the ground, the stems, maybe that will produce more roots and give it more energy. The Cherokee Purple is like that too. Let me show you. Yeah, see that? There's some Cherokee Purples ripening up right there. Right down there, some big one. Another big one. So they're sitting on the ground, and those branches could potentially put roots down and just make them stronger. So there you go, guys. That wraps up the tour of the garden. We did some harvesting, a nice walk around. Good time. Alright guys, so here we are back where we started this morning, by the bananas. I'm going to keep watering them. I'm going to water the sod that we put down. It was a good day, man. It was a fun little tour. I showed you stuff that I thought was going to be a flop as well, like the garlic. I didn't think there was going to be little garlic bulbs, and there was. That was a surprise to me. Even the potatoes. I thought they weren't in there very long, but we got a handful, more than a handful of potatoes. So everything works out in the end. It's gardening. It will never be perfect. If you're watching channels that show you nothing but perfection, they're editing a lot. Let's just say that, because I'll show you the bad. I'm not a professional, but I'm getting better. And the more we build the soil and add more organic material, it'll just get easier for you. So again, I'm just learning just like you guys. I'm just putting it on video. So I'm not looking for a perfect garden. I'm just looking to garden. So that's it, guys. You guys have a good day and back to work tomorrow. We'll see you next weekend.